Hello everyone. In our previous session, we have studied different types of inheritance. In today's session, we are going to refer the last type of inheritance, that is called hybrid inheritance. The theoretical portion regarding the hybrid inheritance we have already studied, but during the theory portion I have told you that we will see that what are the disadvantage of what is the limitations of hybrid inheritance. So before starting our programmatic session, I would like to explain what is the disadvantage of hybrid inheritance. First of all, what is hybrid inheritance? As we have studied that it is a combination of one or more type of inheritance, and generally you are going to combine hierarchical inheritance with multiple inheritance. Hierarchical means what? This one, 1, 2 and 3. Similarly, 1, 2 and 3. So when you are going to combine hierarchical inheritance with the multiple inheritance, it becomes the concept of hybrid inheritance. But consider this particular example, right? When you are going to make a line, or you are going to create class B and C using class A, and after B and C you are going to create class D. So in this situation, you are able to understand that, see, this particular line, this line is not possible, right? Why that line is not possible? Because see, if class A, that means this is a grandfather class, this is a father, this is a mother, and this is a child class. So suppose grandfather says that I have 100 rupees. Listen carefully. Suppose class A, which is referred as a grandfather class, says to this both child that I have 100 rupees, right? So now what happens when class B delivers the property to class D? At that time, class B says, I have 100 rupees of class A, and class C says, I will give 100 rupees of class D. So class A. So what happens now? Class D contains 2 copies of class A. Let me repeat the case once again. Over here, class A can be considered as a grandfather class. B and C can be considered as a father and mother class, and class D can be considered as a child class. So when you are going to deliver the amount or property to class D, at that time what happens? Suppose class A says that I have 100 rupees in my account. At that time class B informed class D that I will give you 100 rupees of grandfather. Similarly, class C repeats that thing, that I will give 100 rupees of your grandfather. Actually what happens? The money is divided between class B and C. That means 50-50 partnership is there. So when you are going to apply the concept of hybrid inheritance, at that time hybrid inheritance is right now not possible. Definitely we will see in next program, but the first program represents student inherits test, and sports does not have connection with student class. That means this line is avoided. You need to skip this line right now. The limitation I have already explained, or the disadvantage of hybrid inheritance I have already displayed. Remember one thing, that if class A contains 100 rupees, at that time it is divided between the class B and C. But when you are going to implement complete hybrid inheritance in this way, in this way, right? At that time this contains 100 as well as this contains 100, so it will not be possible. So for that, right now we have skipped this particular line. That means we have not mentioned any classes with the development of sport class. But yes, definitely when you are going to create result class, at that time it inherited from the test class as well as from the sports class. So let us take the example of hybrid inheritance. Let us develop the program which contains the explanation of this disadvantage. Example of hybrid inheritance. Hybrid equals to multi-level plus multiple plus hierarchical. Now we are going to include 3 header files because I want to include string.h also. iostream.h, conio.h, and has include string.h. Now we are going to create one class called student. We are going to use public keyword, public integer number, void. I am going to develop method. Remember one thing, I have not created constructor over here, so this method can be called with the object of class. So set number will set the number equals to 1. Similarly, I am going to create one class called test, public student. Again, test class contains two variables, integer m1 comma integer m2. Void set mark will set mark of two subject, m1 equals to 60, m2 equals to 60. Now we are going to create class sports, but I am not going to inherit anything. The problem I have already explained to you, so right now I am not going to inherit any class and I have skipped that particular line. Now going to use public keyword, integer score, void set score, inside score we are going to set the score by 80. The last class, that is called result class, we are going to inherit two classes. One is called test and another is called sports. Now public keyword, void display will display all the variable values which we have already defined in our previous classes. We are going to call set number method, we are going to call set mark method, and last method is called set score. Now we are going to print the value of number, mark and score. The cout \n, the final result of roll number number variable. See, this is a formatted output, right? So now it is easy to understand, m1 plus m2 plus score. Don't worry, I will explain the program. First let me complete the whole program. Void main clrscr and get ch, result r r dot display. Let me save the program. Program number 9, inheritance 9. Now see the output. Result of roll number 1 is 200. Let me put space over here also so that it will represent the proper output. Now see how the program is executed. Here I have created object of result class, so it will go inside this particular block, and r.display. r.display calls set number. Now it will check that set number is declared inside either test class or sports class. So let us check that set number is a property of test class or sports class. It is not the property of sports class. It is not the property of test class, but yes, in the test class we have inherited grandfather class, which is called student class, which contains property of set number. So naturally, whatever the property father class received from the grandfather class, it can be accessed by the child. So definitely with the help of this, over here see, we have inherited the class student. So you are able to call set number. So set number is called, then set mark is called, and then set score is called. After that roll number is 1. M1, what is the value of M1? That is 60 plus 60 plus 80. 60 plus 60, 120 plus 80, that is 200. So output would be 200. The final result of roll number 1 is 200. But I have taken this program because I want to show the limitation of complete hybrid inheritance. Suppose if you are going to inherit one class over here with a sports class, at that time you will not get proper output, because whatever the class grandfather has, that property can be accessed only once, right? Otherwise what happens, two copies are generated, and which is not possible. So over here I have skipped that particular line. So this will not present complete hybrid inheritance, right? This is a partial hybrid inheritance. Now if you want to make complete hybrid inheritance, at that time you need to define the base class as a virtual class. Virtual means what? Single copy, right? Single copy means when you are going to give student class as a base class and you are going to refer it by the derived class, at that time it will refer single copy. That means the case, consider the case of 100 rupees, right? Right now if you are going to apply it in this particular program, at that time both the class contains 100 rupees, which is not the case. To avoid such kind of problem, you are having the concept of virtual. So over here let me give comment line, example of hybrid or multipath inheritance or virtual base class. So these all are the words which can be used with each other, either hybrid inheritance or multipath inheritance or virtual base class. These three are the same concept. Now let us include header files, iostream .h has include conio.h has include string.h. We are going to create one base class because our all the programs are based on the base class. Public integer a, base class contains default constructor base, and we are going to initialize the value of a by 10. Class derived one, virtual, see over here I have mentioned virtual keyword. Virtual means single copy of base class. Derived 1 b equals to 20. I forgot to write a public keyword as well as forget to take b variable. Similarly, class derived 2, again I am going to make the use of virtual public base 1. So this will share the single copy of base class. Now use public keyword integer c derived 2 c equals to 30. Now we are going to create class final, which contains the public class derived 1 and public class derived 2. See, the hierarchical structure becomes like this: base 1, derived 1, derived 2, and over here final class is there. In this way the structure is created, but over here we have used virtual, so final class will get the single copy of base class 1. So 50-50 partnership would be possible in this case because we have used keyword virtual. Virtual means single copy or unique copy which has been referred by the derived class. Now we are going to make one public method void display which will display all the three values of above classes. Value of A is A, cout value of B is B, cout backslash n value of C is C, right? Now we just need to create the object of final class and we need to call display method final f1 dot display. Let me save the program. Program number I10, inheritance 10. Let us execute. Value of A is null. What is the problem? Integer A, base, okay, base over here we need to create constructor base 1, that is our mistake. Now it will come 10, 20 and 30. So over here we have defined base 1. Inside that we have initialized the value of A by 10, derived 1 contains B by 20, derived 2 contains C by 30, and final class contains all the three variables and we are going to display using display function. But this is not the concept. We just need to understand the concept of virtual base class. Virtual base class means what? That when you are going to implement complete hybrid inheritance, such thing is not possible in C++. So to make the possibility of complete hybrid inheritance, you just need to use virtual keyword before the base class, right? When you are going to inherit any base class, you just need to use virtual keyword. Virtual is nothing but it is a single copy which is shared by the all the classes which you are going to derive. So using virtual, you are going to allow single copy of base class. When in exam it may be asked explain hybrid inheritance. If the twisted question is there, at that time it will ask multipath inheritance or explain virtual base class. One more program I want to show you which represents the example of virtual base class. Let me take one new program. This is the last program of our today's session. Example of hybrid or multipath inheritance or virtual base class. Include two header file, iostream.h and conio.h. See, now first of all let me give the definition so that you can understand. I want to create one input class, then addition 1, subtraction 1, multiplication 1 and division 1. These four are the classes I want to develop, and at last output. So from the definition only you are able to understand that input class contains what kind of facility, addition, subtraction and multiplication contains what kind of facility, and output contains what type of data. From the definition only you are able to understand. This way I want to perform hybrid inheritance, multipath inheritance, or I want to use the concept of virtual base class. So for such, let us create first which class we are going to create. First of all we are going to create input class. Inside input class, see, when you want to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, at that time we need to input two values of variable. So for that, public integer a comma b, then void get data, cout, enter value for a, cout, enter value for b. Now we are going to create three classes: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So class add1, we are going to use virtual public input. The class is going to share single copy, public keyword, then integer calculate, addition 1. I am going to develop one UDF which returns a value, return a plus b. Similarly, you need to write the same code for the subtraction. Subtraction 1, virtual public input. In the subtraction code we are going to implement same program or code, integer calculate subtraction 1. This UDF does not have any argument, so no argument with return value. That type of UDF we have created. Return a minus b. Next class is called class multiplication 1, virtual public input, public integer calculate multiplication 1, return a multiplied by b, and last class is called division1 virtual public input public integer calculate division1. You can copy and paste it also, a divide by b. So these four are the classes which has been developed using the virtual keyword. Now it's time for the output. So let me take or develop last class which is called output, class output, but output can be defined using all the four classes, that is addition, multiplication, division and subtraction. So public add1 comma public add2 subtraction 1 comma public multiplication 1 and public division 1. Now see, if you have question that which class I need to make virtual, so remember one thing, that always you need to make base class as a virtual, or any class which you want to share a single copy by the derived classes, that class you need to make it as a virtual. So it will refer only a single copy. Now public keyword, I am going to develop void display function, or over here let me change the name. In the input section we have taken get data, so I am going to implement put data over here, not display. Get data will collect data from the keyboard and put data will display on the screen. First of all call that get data function, then cout \n addition is add1 method, calculate add1, name of that method is calculate underscore add1, cout \n subtraction is calculate subtraction 1, cout \n multiplication is calculate multiplication 1 and cout division is and calculate division 1. So over here we have completed the task of creation of different types of classes. Now we just simply need to create the object of output class, clr and get ch output class o1 and o1 dot put data. We do not need to call get data, because when you are going to call put data, at that time what is the first line? It will call get data. Let me save the program first, then we are going to see it by performing practical. I think this is the program number 11. Now let us run the program. What is the problem? Okay, we forgot to write cin statement over here. So let me mention cin code 10 and b is 5. So addition is 15, subtraction is 5, multiplication is 50 and division is 2. So over here let us understand the execution of program. When you create object of output class, at that time it will check any class contains default constructor. No, any class does not have any default constructor. So now it will call method o1 dot put data. So o1 class, o1 is the object of output class, so it will go inside the put data. put data function contains get data, so it will go inside add class, subtraction class, multiplication class and division class. Any class does not contain get data, but again this all classes contains virtual public input, so it will go inside input and it will call get data method. You need to input two values. We have inputted 10 into the variable a and 5 into the variable b. Now what happens? Next line is addition is, so this statement is printed on the screen. We have called calculate underscore add one method, so it will go inside the addition class. Already we have included over here, so it will go inside addition class and it will return a plus b. The value of a plus b is 15, so it will print addition is 15, subtraction is 5, multiplication is 50 and division is 2. So in this way program is executed. The concept of virtual base class is nothing but when you want to give or allow the user to share a single copy of base class, at that time you need to declare it as a virtual public and then name of the base class, and in this way complete hybrid inheritance is possible. If you do not use virtual keyword in the base class, at that time it shares individual copy to the derived class, and which may create problem. So you just need to make sure that while you create or while you use the concept of hybrid inheritance, at that time you need to make base class. While you share the copy of base class, just use virtual keyword. Now let me share notepad file for all the three programs which we have learned during the current session. This is the first program which we have seen in our today's session, class student, class test. In that we have inherited student. Let me scroll down the program. Over here we have created class sport, but sports class does not contain any inheritance. The reason I have already told you, so I am not going to repeat it again. And in this particular class, result class, we use test as well as sports. So from this we are able to understand that this is the example of multi-level plus multiple inheritance, because multi-level means what? Student, test and then result, and student, test, sports and result. So test plus sports make result class. So that is the combination of multi-level plus multiple inheritance. By combining that two concept, hybrid inheritance occurs, but this is not the example of complete hybrid inheritance. Let me scroll down the program so that you can write in the journal. Let me share the notepad file for the second program. Base 1, derived 1. Over here we have taken virtual public base 1. Similarly in the derived 2 also we have taken virtual public base 1 to share the single copy of base class. And in the final class, first of all right up to this, I am going to scroll down up to this derived 1. So derived 1 and derived 2 shares the virtual copy of public base class 1. Let me scroll down again up to base class 2, derived class 2. Let me scroll down the program, class final. You need to write up till class final. Let me scroll down the whole program. So this is the program which you need to write in the journal. This is the second program which we have performed and which represents the concept of virtual base class, or you can say this is the complete hybrid inheritance. And the last program which represents virtual base class, multipath inheritance or hybrid inheritance. Write the program properly, otherwise you will not get proper output. Take the variable name properly. First of all, write class input, then create four different classes, that is addition 1, subtraction 1, multiplication 1 and division 1, which contains virtual copy of public class input. In that we have written one method which returns value but does not have any argument. So this is a UDF, no argument with return. Four classes you need to take with the virtual keyword. The last class you need to develop is class output, but for that you need to inherit four classes: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and inside that you need to create one method put data. Inside put data we have called method of input class, that is get data, and four methods which are part of addition 1, subtraction 1, multiplication 1 and division 1. At last we have created object of output class, and with the help of object of output class we have called method put data. When you call put data, at that time first it will call get data, it will fetch the values of a and b variable, it shares a common copy to the different classes, and based on the value of a and b it will produce output of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So this is all for now, and this is more than enough for our today's session. Thank you all.